Raymond Okpani, and in this channel, I discuss everything around personal growth, life hacks, business hacks, strategies, global opportunities, education, and all that. But today is particularly very different because I'm going to be talking more about personal growth hack, and I'm going to be discussing extensively on what I've called quantum leap acceleration blueprint, something that has helped me to grow from just from a point of zero to the point where I am now, like a learning path. And it's something that will help anyone, irrespective of your location, irrespective of your qualification, and wherever you are. It's going to help you to really break out and start living the life that you have always dreamt about for yourself. And so I've developed this blueprint. It's actually going to be in in series. It's going to be in series where I'll be breaking down some of the knowledge and hacks that have helped me, and also that I've also learned from mentors and coaches, and some of the things that have helped them, to really grow from the point of zero to the point where they are. And also they also keep using these hacks to become better every day in their personal and in their professional lives. And that's exactly what I want to teach you about. And so in this series, I'm going to be discussing extensively on 4 parts. It's going to be a 4-part series where I'll be talking about first of all, I'm going to be talking about seeking clarity. And the second point is I'm going to be talking about building authenticity. And the third point, I'm going to be talking about crafting strategies. And lastly is accelerating growth. So I'm going to be, breaking this down very well, where, whether you're a student, you're an entrepreneur, you're a career professional, it's really very possible for people to get to a particular point in their life only to discover that either they are not really on actually the right path where they've always wanted to be, or that they are actually on the path but they are not moving as fast as they would have loved to be. And this is really, sometimes it requires that you come back to yourself and have some form of re-evaluation of yourself, to ask yourself the why question. Why did you start in the first place? What are the fuel? What are the motivation? And I'm going to be breaking these things down as we go down this series. And let's just get right into it. So today I'm going to be talking about the very first point in the series, and that is what? Seek clarity. Seeking clarity, there are 4 basic points I would like to stress, in trying to help you to, go through this process. Because most times when we talk about seeking clarity, sometimes it looks like it's vague. People look at it like it's something that is very mysterious, something that is very magical. What do you mean when you say I should seek clarity? Clarity about what? And these are very simple things, and I'm going to break them down, that you need to start understanding how this process gets to work, and perhaps it's going to help you to go back within yourself and reevaluate who you really are. And the first point in seeking clarity we're going to talk about is your self-image. Self-image is really your mental picture, a mental picture you have about yourself. What do you think about yourself? I mean, when you close your eyes and then kind to envision who you are, who do you really see yourself as? What do you think about yourself? Let me give you an instance. I've seen and discussed with people who, just by having mere conversation with them, the things they say about themselves, how they see themselves, shows that they don't see themselves like they are beautiful. They don't see themselves like they are handsome. They always say things that that project others as more beautiful than they are, as more valuable than they are. They project other people as more resourceful as they are. And this is not even really about the external, it's really about internal. Some people don't even see themselves as beautiful, and because of that, that image they have about themselves really gets to affect every other thing. That's really the very foundation you need if you want to really get on the pathway to accelerating your growth in anything you're doing, either in your business or in your professional life. You need to be able to have a very strong positive self-image. you must begin to see yourself as the best version that you can ever be. You must begin to see yourself as the most confident person. You must begin to see yourself, as very beautiful, as very resourceful, as very strong. You must begin to see yourself as a very healthy person, as someone who can communicate. You must see yourself as somebody who can sit on any table, who can have any kind of conversation anywhere around the world. Because if you cannot see that picture, you see, the picture you see about yourself, if you cannot see that picture, it becomes very, very difficult, almost impossible for you to attract the kind of life that your real self would have, either been delving into. So, I mean, just like we're talking about now, you want to ask yourself, who do you really see yourself as? Let me give you an instance. So while I was growing up in my primary school days, I grew up, I went to a school where there are a lot of all these rich kids that are there. And I come to school coming from a very quite poor background, and then these guys have all kinds of things, all the toys, all the accessories that you can provide to young people, in school. And I never had any of those. And at some point, I started seeing myself as very inadequate. It started translating to the way I saw myself. I saw myself as poor, right? I saw myself as poor. The picture and the image I always saw myself as someone that is very poor, coming from a poor background, that who cannot even afford this, cannot even afford that. And the more I kept seeing myself as a poor person, was the more it was translating to my mind, and I couldn't attract the things that really, really matter for my growth and for my process. So you want to be able to. So what did I do? I now, to be able to change my self-image, I started envisioning what the future will be like for me. What kind of person do I want to be? I want to be a rich guy. I want to be a very smart, intelligent guy that is, making a lot of, commanding a lot of relevance at the global space. What kind of person do you see yourself? That's really the first question, because you must be able to crack this code of self-image. And it's very easy for people to think that it's really basic. Yeah, it's really basic, but you see, those things that are basic are actually the building blocks to a great and a successful life, right? Because you ignore them, and you are going to suffer for ignoring them, because truly everybody who have ever succeeded, all the people you get to admire, these are actually the blueprints. These are actually the foundation to all the things that we see about themselves. Let's talk about the second thing that you want to do for yourself. The second thing you're gonna, in trying to seek clarity, you're gonna consider is your self-esteem. Self-esteem, it's really different from self-image. Self-image talks about your mental picture, a mental picture you have about yourself. But your self-esteem basically is how you feel about yourself, the feeling, the average feeling you have every other time about yourself. How do you feel? Do you always feel sad? Do you always feel neglected? Do you always feel rejected? Those things greatly affect your self-esteem. And so you must be able to translate and build a very positive self-esteem, because it's really in your feeling. Don't forget, your feeling translates to your thoughts. Most times, the things you think about yourself. I just told you right now, just talking about self-image. You see yourself as someone that is poor, and you begin to think about someone that is poor, and it's now flow into your self-esteem, and because of that, you start lacking confidence, right? And so you're going to start seeing yourself as someone that is resourceful, because it really starts from your feeling, right? If you think about yourself as a super person, then you start feeling like a super person. So your self-esteem basically is what how you feel about yourself. You have to come to a point where you are constantly feeling satisfied. You are always feeling happy. You are excited. You can't wait to take advantage of new opportunities. You want to connect with people. You're just excited, right? Your esteem is really about building your confidence, how you feel, your feeling in the morning. And let me also tell you guys one of the things that I have learned and I've practiced that has helped me to craft a very beautiful self-esteem is actually working out, right? is actually working out. So when I work out, I always tell people that working out, it's really not about building the muscles, or keeping staying in shape. Like it is a benefit actually, but for me it's really about the mind, because it greatly influenced the way I think. It's influenced the way I see myself, how I feel grateful. I am so grateful. I am filled with gratitude. I am great. I'm excited that I'm alive today. I'm excited that I can breathe. I mean, I can connect with people. I have very amazing people in my space. It's really something that I'm really excited about, and I get to talk about them all the time. So you really want to also consider, this is the second point, is the second level in seeking clarity. You want to be able to identify, how do you see yourself as self-image. The next is that you want to seek, your self-image must be on point. You must be able to feel good all the time. And I'm gonna also, while I'm also going down in this series, I'll talk more about the things you need to do to be able to build your self-esteem. One of them is also to, really get into very quality association, get into the right association, because by the time you get into the right association, they also have a way of helping you to craft a very fantastic self-esteem, where you begin to feel good staying around the right people and having the right knowledge, as we go on. So that's actually the next thing that I want to talk about. The other one we want to going to talk about is self-motivation. Self-motivation, guys. When we talk about self-motivation, it is really, your drive and your ambition. One of the things that move you. Okay, let me break it down exactly. What are the things that when you think about them, you feel like at least you have an advantage, right? What are the things that when you remember that you can do them, if you remember those things, you feel like, okay, you are not left out. For instance, someone can feel like, okay, I work more under pressure, for instance. Okay, I produce more results under pressure. It's a kind of self-motivation, because it's a superpower. It's something you can do more than other people. Each time you remember that, you know that, okay, I have to keep going. Again, what are the things that each time you remember that, you can't fail, you just have to keep going. Let me tell you guys my self motivation. Every day I am motivated by the fact that there are so many people whose successes are tied to my own success. And so each time I remember that I cannot afford to fail, because if I dare fail, if I dare quit, there are hundreds, there are thousands of people who are looking up to me, they are eventually going to succeed, but it probably might take them another time. They have to, it's going to make their own learning curve quite more tedious. So for them to succeed, without stress and going through the process, I have to keep myself also succeeding. I have to keep pushing on the goal, because my success greatly influence and challenges them to also succeed. That's my self-motivation every day. So I don't know what is yours. So what are the things that each time you remember them, each time you think about them, you just know that you cannot fail. You just have to keep pushing, until you get to the end of the goal. Let me talk about the last thing, that under seek clarity. You want to be able to find out what your passion is. This actually is really about your strongest emotion, your strongest feeling. What are the things that move you? What are the things that move you to tears? I mean, the problems that you see, and you can't, you just cease, you just freeze. You want to meditate on them. You want to something that keeps you awake at night. And I'm not talking about having a vision. I'm talking about what are the things you're passionate about. What are the things you can do even if you are not being paid for it? What are the things that when they happen, you will live a fulfilled life? You want to imagine a life where there is no problem, right? Imagine if you have all the money in the world. Imagine if you have all the time in the world. Imagine if there is age on your side. Imagine if you don't have any limitation. What are the things you're going to be spending your time on? That's actually how to find out what you are passionate about. Imagine if you have all that you desire in the world, all the money, all the time you have, all the strength, all the energy. You are so strong and healthy. What one thing will you spend more of your time on? Whatever thing that is your passion. That's some of the things you have the strongest emotion and strongest commitment on. And so that's it right here in this episode of accelerating your growth. And I'm gonna In the next series, in the my next video, I'm going to be talking about the second pointer, and that is building authenticity. And don't forget, if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, please kindly click on the subscribe button, and don't forget to click on the bell button so that you will be notified when the next video goes live. And so guys, it's really been an interesting time. Please leave your comment below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your light bulb moments are, and let's see how we can keep learning on this channel. And also don't forget to let me know if there are other videos that you would like me to talk about, if there are topics you like me to talk about specifically, and we'll get right to it. Thank you so much, everyone, and do have a fantastic one.